All right, it's another beautiful day to talk sports on the locker room on Voice of the People TV. I'm ever representing, talking about my name is Jerry Alpeyoha, your go-to host for all things football. It's a power pack show today. And of course, on the side note for Liverpool fans, Liverpool are out of the FA Cup and the slot has gone on to prove that. But there's a lot of stories coming up as far as the Super Eagles preparing for the World Cup qualifier against Rwanda is concerned. Very interesting news are beginning to pop up. It looks like Eric Chell has a bigger plan than what Nigerians are expecting for Rwanda. We're just playing Rwanda, and Eric Chell is preparing as if he's going to play at the World Cup already. So definitely makes a lot of interesting read. We'll be looking at all the side attractions as far as the 31-man roster that's going to prosecute the game against Rwanda and Zimbabwe is concerned. Eric Chell is in the news. Some very interesting players are also in the mix-up as far as those who might likely make the cut is concerned. I will not be doing it alone. I have the controversial one. Okay, when Mourinho joined Chelsea, he said, I am the special one. But when I introduce him, I say the controversial one. All right, controversial one, Ikechukwu. It's great to have you join us once again on Locker Room.
Yeah, good evening, Jerry. It's so good to have me here. I'm so glad to be here again once again.
I can see how glad you are.
And the weekend was so huge. You know, it's a beautiful weekend.
Beautiful weekend. A lot of tickets got to
beautiful weekend, I must say.
You made a lot of money.
Yes, a lot of money actually.
Wow.
Plus the fact that Plymouth was able to actually tame a butterfly that sees himself, think himself a bird. And Plymouth actually put them in their place, and then my prophecy is beginning to align. Like I said, this is the only trophy the Merseyside Red will be putting on. I don't want to call their name, so I'll call them Merseyside Red. So thank you once again for having me. It's good.
You see that's petty there, but it is what it is. All right, let's go back to Maiwa, who joins us on this very auspicious day. And of course, what they did for Ikechukwu to be smiling like a Cheshire cat. It's great to have you join us.
It's always amazing to be here. Prophet Ikechukwu, I greet you.
Prophet of Doom.
Well, it might be looking like a joke, but I think probably Ikechukwu might be right.
This octopus ball is fake. This octopus Ikechukwu is fake.
What was I slot thinking? Fielding, very, very young players. Manchester United winning by an offside goal. I wonder. I don't think the linesman. I don't think the linesman. Yeah, that's true. I don't think the linesman needs to be paid. I mean, they should be told this pay. How can you miss such a glaring, offside? But in any case, a lot of what to talk about. Controversial call in the La Liga, a lot of controversial call over the weekend. But in any case, like I always say, it's a good Monday to talk sport. Thank you for having me, Jerry.
It was a weekend for match fixers. Even that Liverpool match, we need to investigate that game anytime because that penalty was totally uncalled for. What will make talking about Elliot to be raising his hand in that game? And for all things being said, I think that's Liverpool side had no excuse. You're playing against Plymouth. Plymouth that is struggling. They are struggling to even make it. That led to your legend being sacked. He could not survive at Plymouth. That is the same team Liverpool is. Even if Liverpool is playing their third, fourth team, they have no business losing that match. So I have no excuse for them. It's a total embarrassment. And that game needs to be investigated for match fixing as well. Because I don't think they want to tell me. Yeah.
I mean, very true. Liverpool is 43 places ahead of Plymouth. Plymouth is literally the last team in the championship, and Liverpool could not beat them. What was Eddie Elliott thinking about? I think probably he was training for basketball. He forgot that he was playing football. Maybe that's the reason why.
They should go and trace that guy's account. There are some payments that have been made. If he has a betting account, that he went to have, maybe he has put all his 6 months salary on Plymouth to win. Or to have a penalty. They should investigate that boy. I'm being honest here. Anyway, let's hit the ground running as we start up with the Super Eagles. There's a lot of interesting news coming up as far as the Super Eagles is concerned, and that's the fact that the coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Eric Chell, is not leaving any stone unturned in his bid to ensure that the senior national team of Nigeria progress to the 2026 World Cup. The coach made a turn last week to see players of the team ahead of the World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and Zimbabwe, respectively. He is expected to submit his provisional list of players for the World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. Of course, and while he's doing that, he's also planning ahead of both games. And we can exclusively reveal that he has made contact with Newcastle United forward Jacob Murphy, who is eligible for the senior national team of Nigeria. And of course, this young man who Chell had a meeting with, the 29-year-old, to gauge his interest in switching to Nigeria due to his Nigerian descent. Details of the discussion have not, however, been made available to the press or to us as we speak, but they are reported that he met with the young man, and of course, he reminds me of another Shola maybe. This Shola maybe played when he was 29 too.
Yes, I
31.
think. Yeah.
He made the decision.
Yes.
For me,
I think it was over 20.
Sorry,
I think it was 30,
31.
almost 31 when he actually.
Yeah, when they took him to the World Cup, it's left for him to make the decision. I think he's a very good player.
Yes,
I must say, a goal threat anytime, any day. He will be a good addition to the Super Eagles.
Obviously,
Well.
considering the fact that the Super Eagles, we are only very potent, on the left wing. Yeah. We have Moses Simon there. We also have the golden boy of African football, Lukman, on the same flank. Right, we don't really have a potent man on that right wing. Chukwueze has yet to live to up to the billion. Even Ian Acho is nowhere to be found. So we don't even. Let's say we don't even have anybody there. Yeah. So I think bringing him there and having one of those two guys on the other end will really, really give our attack more boost. Terry Murphy and the likes of Telak could actually add, an addition to it. But this guy seems to be the most consistent at this point in the entire, amongst the entire number of Nigerians that are actually planning their trade abroad. So, and knowing that he's of, a British origin, he's a Scottish, I don't know if he actually weighs option. For me, this is him almost getting to his twilight. So this is the best time to actually come. Now the big question we should be asking: how much of a brand have we actually, shown that the Super Eagles is for that's going to be enough to attract, top players coming into the Super Eagles national team? I mean, talking about the Nigerian national team rather. Again, if you look at how the Super Eagles is set up, the first question some of these players will be asking is that, if I come to this place, what level of assurance or what level of respect? Because these people come from a society where players' welfare, or people who actually put in the work, their welfare is taken into the utmost top priority. Now we have a country where players play, year in year out for the national team, and you hear them being old. We also have cases of players who get injured and then the country just look away.
Don't scare Murphy away.
No, I'm not scaring.
This is the same team. Ademola Lookman
I'm not scaring
was
him
born
away.
and bred in the UK. And currently, he's doing well for the Super
I'm not trying to scare him, but I'm just stating the obvious. This is okay. Look at Leon Balogun today. He's not playing for the Super Eagles. Why? He made a very simple remark. What is actually obtainable? What you should do? The best practice, the best standard across the world. That's what he said.
That remark may look simple to you because you are not the NFF president.
Exactly my point. So where he's coming from, where they've lived almost all their life.
For the case of this man, is 29.
They will always consider this.
He will never get a chance to play for England. He may never get a chance.
No, he's actually a Scottish. Yeah. So he may get a chance to play for the Scottish national team if his form continues.
If he wanted to play for the Scottish team, I think he would have made the move. I think he's waiting more for England.
Well, you may want to say that anyways, but then if the World Cup is next year, who says with his form he is not going to make it to the World Cup for the Scottish national team if they make it to the World Cup?
That is if they make it.
Yeah, these are the questions, right? But then,
and that is if he's interested in playing for Scotland.
If they make it to the World Cup, he may want to go. I mean, he's 29. By the time the next World Cup is coming, he's over 33.
So if you're young, there are options of playing for Scotland and the Super Eagles. Which would you take?
At this stage of my career at 29,
when
I know that the first thing I'll look out for is the prospect of going to the World Cup. Right. he doesn't really have all the best years in his career again. So the first thing I'll look at for the prospect of going to the World Cup. If Scotland, if I fancy Scotland chance, going to the World Cup, because every player wants to play the World Cup. So after this World Cup, there's nothing left for him to play. There's no pride again. If Nigeria will not even call him after this World Cup, let's be very honest with ourselves.
If he's consistent with his club side, they will have no choice.
At 31,
if he comes and plays very well for the Eagles and he contributes.
No, I'm saying if we miss him now.
If we miss him now,
yes,
it will be difficult.
We will not call him. This is not.
If he's not doing well, it will be difficult to even mention him. It's because
even if he continues to do well at over 31, Nigeria may not call him again.
If he's doing well, unavoidably well, they will have no choice. Even if at 31, Shola maybe went to the World Cup at the age where nobody even thought that he will ever get a chance.
Shola Ameobi's case is an isolated case. You remember before Shola Ameobi came into the Super Eagles, we've always been looking for him to come. Right. And then we've not had young players from Europe switching allegiance. We don't have this case.
And for me, we didn't need Shola Ameobi when we
exactly. So let's say Shola Ameobi's case brought or sparked the revolution that we have today. A lot of young players, if you are over 25, 26, there's no need to call you again. And that's why I'm very particular of this small Arsenal boy.
Oh.
Ethan Nwaneri.
Ethan Nwaneri to play for the Super Eagles.
Yes.
Definitely, Ethan Nwaneri will not even think about the Eagles now because he's still very young and he has a chance of playing for England. His chances of playing for England are very bright if he continues to do well for Arsenal. So Nigeria definitely will not be in his back of his mind. He will wait maybe when he's 27. 27? Yeah, I'm telling you, when maybe he's not in the situation.
Between now.
Until he's in a situation like Chuba Akpom. When Chuba Akpom was quite very young playing for Arsenal, a lot of times Nigeria made advances.
Chuba Akpom,
and he declined.
Chuba Akpom at 29. Sorry, Chuba Akpom at 21, 22 wasn't as bright as Ethan Nwaneri.
No, he had prospects.
It wasn't.
A lot of people were talking about Chuba Akpom.
It wasn't as bright.
Chuba Akpom was having prospects.
It wasn't as bright as Ethan at 17. Let's be very honest now.
Yes, he wasn't as bright as.
So
he wasn't given the time.
Because he wasn't as good.
No, let me tell you. At that time, Arsenal had a very powerful team.
Who's powerful team?
At least better. If Ethan Nwaneri were in that team at that time, at 16, he will not even walk into this team.
This is 2025. Oh.
Yeah.
We are discussing Chuba Akpom at about 2018.
Was it 2018?
Yes, about 2018 or 2017.
He's 29 now.
Yes, it's about 2018 or 2017.
So we are talking about 7 years ago.
Yes.
7 years ago, Arsenal, Mikel Arteta was not there.
That's what I'm saying.
It was the team inherited.
Unai Emery.
Was it Unai Emery that took over from Arsene Wenger?
No, it was. I think it was Ljungberg.
Different than Ljungberg. Ljungberg was just in.
Okay, no. It was when. I think it was when this guy left that Ljungberg took charge for a short spell before this guy came in. But yes, it was Emery.
Still had the likes of Giroud. Let's not forget.
See, Arsenal has there's Saka in this team, and this team is way stronger than whatever team that Chuba Akpom was playing at the time.
No, definitely not.
This team is more competitive. They've made the.
It's not about competitive.
That's how you judge a team.
Help me here because there's a difference between having a competitive team that is challenging based on the quality in the league right now, because you cannot compare the quality of team at Arsenal. If that quality of Arsenal team comes to this league this season, they will even be very competitive. Are you saying
the team Emery inherited?
Yes, Unai Emery inherited.
Is that better than this? Let's look at the players, Arsenal's players, quality for quality.
Okay.
The team Unai Emery inherited.
And the entire one that we're even talking about is not a starter.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying that
so
is he having game? Chuba Akpom was a starter.
Wait. Chuba Akpom too was not a starter. That is why he struggled, tried to make it because the team then was far bigger than a Chuba Akpom. They needed
his quality was not enough. At what? See.
All right, Mario, please help us with this Chuba Akpom clause. And of course, taking a look at the case of Murphy here, Jacob Murphy.
Well, it's interesting that we are looking at Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy is in form right now. His mother is Irish, father Nigerian, definitely. So that's the reason why he has an opportunity to play for Nigeria. Ireland they've not been doing very fantastic in terms of qualification, and his prospect to feature in any international tournament might probably be with Nigeria. At the moment, we've constantly said if an Osimhen gets injured at the moment, we don't have a suitable replacement that can do what Osimhen will do for us. Jacob Murphy and Osimhen, they are not the same players. They are not the same player. However, a Jacob Murphy, is in form with what he has been able to do for Newcastle, and will probably do well if an Osimhen, is not available. So him coming at 29, I don't think it's an issue because he's playing regularly and he's not one of the bench warmers, in their club that wants to come and, get a chance in Nigeria. There's a particular, you guys were mentioning Ameobi. Before Ameobi, there was a particular Efe Tobore Soje. He started playing for Nigeria at almost 30. That was when he started making appearance. His younger brother, Sam Soje, came in at 27. So this is not the first time we have, players who are in their prime coming to play for the Super Eagles. What matters is, are they in form right now? I mean, we spoke about what's his name now, Akpom, some days ago, and everybody agreed that Akpom is not the best fit for Nigeria at the moment because he's not even getting regular playing time. But for Jacob Murphy, his prospect for England is very, very slim. I don't think he will make the English national team at the moment. His prospect for Nigeria is very bright. If they can convince him to make the switch, it will be an added addition for our national team based off the fact that the other strikers that are supporting, Victor Osimhen, apart from Ademola Lookman, every other striker we have, none of them has been able to, replicate their club form for Nigeria. So, I mean, if Jacob Murphy makes the switch, it will be an added advantage for us, owing to the fact that we need all the hands we can get to be able to qualify. Ikechukwu raised one very important point as regards our welfare. I mean, to be honest with you, we've had cases to play for England, you are recognized for life because you participated, you play for the English national team. There is a certain, welfare quota that comes to you because you are a former, national team player. But for Nigeria, we've had players play for Nigeria, and a whole lot of them, they are roaming around the street. Femi Opabumi got blind. What are they doing about Femi Opabumi? Wilson Oruma, had a stint, had mental issues. What are they doing about him? Celestine Babayaro, they talked about being back row. What are they doing to him? Rashidi Yekini, unfortunately, know the family very well. I know the family very well in Ofa. What did they do for Rashidi Yekini when he was struggling? Nothing. So, I mean, we can continue to open the history book of the NFF in terms of how they have handled our players that have participated, that have represented this country. However, a whole lot of the players that decide to make the switch, what's on ground is not encouraging, but a lot of players that decide to make the switch are doing it because, it's the only opportunity for them to be able to participate in international competition. For Chuba Akpom, in terms of his Arsenal days, he never had the opportunity to shine. I don't think he was good enough to play for the Arsenal. The reason is very simple. Even when he went on loan, the only time he did very well was when he went to Middlesbrough, and that has been 6 years of touring around different clubs in England before he was able to go to Middlesbrough and was able to do well in Middlesbrough before moving to Ajax. But in any case, I'm hoping we can get a Jacob Murphy because it's one of the deadliest strikers we have in DPR at the moment. If he comes to play for Nigeria, it will be another advantage. Probably maybe with him, Eric can do the unthinkable and qualify for the World Cup.
All right, Mario, are definitely very interesting as far as the case of Jacob Murphy is concerned. He's in competitive football. He's doing it week in, week out. So that definitely is the reason why Eric Chell is looking at him. And if he agrees to play for the Super Eagles, I think for me, it's a plus because he plays from the right wing. And we surely need a firepower, a hungry player with this kind of mentality in that Super Eagles. Okay, and of course, the viral reports of the decision of on-loan Chelsea midfield duo Carney, Chukwuemeka, and Leslie Ugochukwu has been termed as inaccurate by a chieftain of the Nigerian Football Federation. the FA chief, who is a part of the technical decision-making body of the Football House, cleared the air on the state of the tour as it concerns playing for the Super Eagles. And of course, according to the information, Chukwuemeka it's all positive for some time now, but doubt of Ugochukwu, they are not sure he wants to play for Nigeria after breaking into the French setup. And it looks like he still has hopes that he might play for France. I can't remember any Nigerian player playing for France. It's quite really difficult for mostly the Anglophone players, but definitely he speaks French very well. He has played with the age grade teams, and for Ugochukwu, France is not a team because you are playing in Southampton and you think you are going to get a start when it comes to the big leagues, because you have to be playing for, we all know how competitive even the midfield for France is. So I don't know who is advising Ugochukwu right now, but it looks like his mind is made up, or he's still having hopes that his performance at Southampton will give him a chance. But for Chukwuemeka, looking at his young age, if he decides he wants to play with Super Eagles, I think it looks like a right choice, because if he's going to wait for England as well, it might take him another couple of years.
Okay, so I'll start with Chukwuemeka, who is possibly waiting for England. There's a possibility.
He is interested in Nigeria. Ugochukwu is the one waiting for. Okay, possibly waiting for England.
Yes, Carney, of course, yes. So, but then yes, getting a chance for England has to do with consistency. I mean, these countries choose their players based on merit, not like how we do. We have slots here. So, if he can be consistent and help, push Southampton up and make them one of the strong forces in England, of course, why not? Maybe not this year, but perhaps maybe after the World Cup, he might just get his call up. But then Nigeria is it's a far better prospect. His chances are quite open here.
Of even playing at the World Cup,
yeah. But then for the other guy, Ugochukwu, I think Ugochukwu's case is, for me, I think the only you said something about who is advising him. I think the driving force for him might be Olise, the guy who plays for Bayern Munich. And Olise's chance to play for France is bright.
Yeah, he's playing for
Bayern Munich and he's a regular player there. So yes, the Le Bleu might most likely give him a chance to play, even if he's not going to be a starter for the national team. But I think he's going to really fancy his chance to be, called up into any major part.
Olise has already made a case for himself.
You get so if he's looking at who, or if we are looking at who is advising him, then we might be looking at, perhaps he's looking at Olise. Say if Olise can actually do it, perhaps I can also do it. But the big question is, how long are you willing to wait to get this opportunity? This is exactly the big question. Because if you're not consistent with a team like Chelsea, if you don't play regularly for a team like Chelsea, if you don't play regularly for a team that is not even as big as Bayern Munich, you are not playing regularly for a team that is not even as big as Paris Saint-Germain, then trust me, how on earth do you expect to get the call up?
Definitely.
This is not a country where someone will just sit down somewhere, in his lounge and say, why is Ugochukwu's name is not part of the party?
Not where the player who is playing is.
You understand?
Tanzania
in Tanzania League, and you just get the call up because someone liked your face or how you move the ball. This is a country where they understand that there's a culture called the winning culture. They want to win at all costs. Even if they are losing, they want to see that the project they've invested in is actually working.
Yeah.
Because they don't just see these guys as players who give them joy. They see these guys as role model for the next generation.
And a national project.
You understand? Yeah. So exactly. So if
national pride
for me, I think what the both of them should do at this point, and I like the fact that NFF have actually come out because to say what they've said, we have a very serious problem of communication here. We really don't know how to actually communicate. When this news first came out, a lot of persons were being skeptical. What's exactly going on? Are we actually getting these guys? Are they really interested in playing for the Super Eagles? But now they've cleared the air. Okay, only one is actually interested. The other one is still very much laid back. Let's watch how far he can actually do. At the end of the day, I want to see every player succeed. Even if he doesn't end up playing for Nigeria, let him actually play for the country he wishes to play for. And let's see him play regularly. And say, okay, he's actually a Nigerian. I mean, Kylian Mbappe and the like, some of them know their country of origin. But you look at them and say, we are glad to have... the Cameroonians will look at Kylian and say, yes, Kylian is a Cameroonian. We are glad to have a Cameroonian representing France. Let's look at him in that mode. If he can actually make, the cut for them. You understand? But for the Super Eagles, if you want to come, this is the time to come. If you cannot, for me, I always say it, if you're past 25, you don't have any business coming back to the Super Eagles.
All right, so Maiwa, what do you think about the Borussia Dortmund loanee from Chelsea? Talking about Carney, who has decided that it's time for him to make an international switch. And the fact that he's still very, very young, though according to reports he might not be a part of the double header, he is in the pool of names to be considered going forward. That is if his international switch is not cleared on time for the match games. He's just 21.
Iwobi did it. I know probably he might be in contact with Iwobi. Iwobi did it at a very young age. Victor Moses did it. And, they were very marquee for Nigeria, anytime they put on the green, white, green jersey. Yes, his prospects for England, I don't think it's that bright. I should go and ask Tam Abraham and Fikayo Tomori. Yes, a whole lot of people might say Tam Abraham got injured. He has not been consistent. He's just getting his form back. But Fikayo Tomori was very, very fantastic. He has been very fantastic for AC Milan. Yet, he still cannot make it to the national team. And they've trapped him with an appearance for the English national team. And he can never appear for Nigeria again. So I think before these players commit their future, they need to look at the antecedent. Not everybody will have the grace or will have the opportunity as Saka has. Not all of them will have that kind of opportunity. So Fashanu, decided to ditch Nigeria. How many appearances did he have for the English national team? So Carney should take his time. He's still very young. And if he wants to make the switch, this is an opportunity for him to be able to do that. Our team is beginning to age, and we need fresh blood that can do it. For Ugochukwu, I don't think his prospect for France is very bright. The reason is very simple. You cannot compare an Ugochukwu with Michael Olise. Michael Olise was very, very important for Crystal Palace. He was very, very instrumental for the Crystal Palace team. Under the different coaches he played, Michael Olise shone and, shined. And definitely that was the reason why, a club like Bayern Munich came for him. He plays, anytime he plays, you always know that Olise is there. I mean, I remember one of his games, he turned Casemiro into a fisherman when Crystal Palace dispatched Manchester United, and those were one of his key performances that led to him going to Bayern Munich. For Ugochukwu, he has not been having the best of time with Chelsea, and that's the reason why he was loaned to Southampton. Even in Southampton, yes, he's a good player for Southampton, but he's not an exceptional player for Southampton. So if he's still thinking about I want to stay behind and look at my prospect, I don't think his prospect for France is very bright. I think he has a whole lot of opportunity to be able to play for Nigeria. How many of our players play for the top 5 clubs in Europe? How many of them, and they end up playing for the national team? So I mean, he has a better opportunity to play for the national team. And it's also, like Ikechukwu rightly said, it's also good that the NFF is coming out to clear the air. However, I would expect the communication department of the NFF to do more. They shouldn't have allowed the news fly before they start clearing the air. They should have cleared the air even before the news starts flying. I think that would probably put things in perspective rather than, let the news first of all fly around before they come out to clear the air. I think the communication department for the NFF can do much more better. They need to be on top of the situation rather than chasing the situation.
Responsibility always shy away. And I must say this, each time I try to reach, apart from maybe the Secretary General, who most of the time wants to keep it official and stay away from controversies, which I understand. Talking about Ademola Olajire is someone I very much respect. And apart from him, then those who have been made media officers of the Super Eagles, I have my reservations. It's more or less media officer, but not mediaing. And there's nothing that looks like media as far as officiating of the media aspect of the Eagles is concerned. And who is now on top? Gosel has proven that he doesn't have what it takes in terms of the charisma to carry even the press along or even carry Nigerians along. That is why you saw mismanagement in handling who is going to be the coach of the Super Eagles. We saw a lot of amateur decision. It showed that these people know next to nothing when it comes to management and administration. You might have the political figure. You might have the leadership figure. But talking about the qualities to carry it out, to carry out those responsibilities, this NFF has proven that they don't have what it takes. We just brought in some politicians who were selected by some people to answer NFF president. And I'm even, will I say, disappointed in the lives of Felix Sanyaseago, because he's one of the vice presidents in the NFF, but I've not seen anything that looks like someone like Felix Sanyaseago. If he's part of all the decision that has been going on in the NFF, sorry to say, it showed that a lot of things have gone amiss. And unfortunately, the people who knew what to do, who knows how it is run, will never get the opportunity of going there. I have my reservations about Amaju Pinnick, but I must give it to him. When it comes to the politics, he's there. When it comes to bringing in money, he's there. When it comes to administration, he knows what to do. When it comes to organization, he knows what to do. But somehow, selfish reasons, and leaving the age grade teams aside was one of my major issues I had with him. And that is why he brought in the policy of going abroad to harvest players that have already been made up by other countries. Because in time past, we used to look at the under-17, under-20 to bring in players to the Super Eagles, but that has been killed, and nobody's looking at it. That is dangerous for our age grade team and the development of our football. That's why we are suffering today. We are going to beg Carney. Back in the days when the likes of Osimhen have already destroyed the under-17 level, we're already looking at which club is he going to next. So anytime we are ready, we put him to come and play for the Super Eagles. But since the Osimhen time, we are still benefiting from Samuel Chukwueze, the Osimhen's of this world and so on. The rest of them, you can see a lot of, even the defense lineup now, we are going to bring in Calvin Bassey, the Leon Balogun, Trus Ekong, but all the days of age grade has died, and it's pretty sad. But the Gosol who is there, he will continue to recycle Salisu Yusuf because he doesn't know the difference between having a quality coach who will build the team. Then we used to have John Obu, Emmanuel Muneke, Yemi Teller, of blessed memory. We had a progress, but it is what it is, so we have to make do with this, and that is why the likes of Ikechukwu will be praying that Ita chooses to play for Super Eagles, which is not your fault. It's because those who are there don't know what to do.
Well, Jerry, I don't even know where to start from. When you discuss the NFF issues, it's quite very, very complex.
Very, very complex.
And you see, you mentioned something about the age grade system, right? And that has only been, I think the only ray of light that we've enjoyed, in terms of what we want to call or what we want to term a project in terms of football development in Nigeria. But it's not supposed to be so, actually.
Definitely not.
Now, no country in the world, top countries that wants to win laurels, that want to stay afloat as top teams in the world, none of them rely on age grade tournaments, the offshoot of age grade tournament as a source of project for the national team development. Let me start from France, for example. Kylian Mbappe, which age grade did we see him? N'Golo Kante, which age grade did we see him? Okay, Pogba, we saw him at the Under-20 World Cup. We can mention all of them, from the Salibas and co, every single one of them. This is what France is doing. And that's exactly what Morocco did that got them the World Cup semi-final ticket. Mm-hmm. And also the Olympics semi-final, and also made them the best team in Africa as we speak today. What they did is to set a national project. Now, France, in 1988, set up what we call the Clairefontaine Academy. That Clairefontaine Academy is responsible for the players like Thierry Henry, Nicolas Anelka, William Gallas. So many stars came out from that academy. Now, they started the academy. It took them 10 years after the academy to win their first World Cup in 98. If you recall, in 1994, the French national team didn't even make the World Cup. We even boasting a squad with likes of Eric Cantona, James Tigana, and co. But they didn't make the World Cup. But that project took them all through 10 years. 2019 rather, 2009 rather, the Morocco the Fifth Academy was set up. How many years after they got to the World Cup semi-final? In 2012, England's under the Dan Ashworth project, they set up the English Academy project that brought the likes of Ademola Lookman, Phil Foden, and co. Today we can say arguably England has the best set of young players in the world. courtesy that, and of course that same project gave them the World Cup. I think World Cup semi-final ticket for the female category and back-to-back Euro final for the male category. That's what the project is.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to rely on just waiting for a group of players from Agege and Shomolu to come together and go and see one Osimhen once in every 5 or 6 years, that's no project.
You know why it will work?
It's no work.
Calm down. You know why it will work in France? Do you know why it will work in France? Because a player like Kylian Mbappe gets an opportunity to play for Monaco's feeders team. Calm down. He plays in the academy. He gets a chance to play in Monaco at the age of 16. And from there, from there he gets to play in the UEFA Champions League.
No, let me explain something. Sorry. I know you're making it.
Wait, now he gets the chance to play in the Champions League. At the age of 16, the whole world is already seeing him. The likes of Thierry Henry gets blooded as much as 8 or 9. They already know that this is what they want to do in life. It's not here in Nigeria. You would have sold gala in traffic. You would have also academy for your first 18 years. Calm down, wait now.
Jerry,
for your first 18 years. Then at age 25, you have to reduce your age
to 17.
To now go and also with one academy. Then pray to God or bribe somebody. They will now select you to go and play the national team. And God help you. There's no MRI scan then. You will now survive it. Is it under these circumstances?
No,
you are expecting that person to get the same opportunity that the Clairefontaine Academy is set up. Because they understand the structure. And the thing is that, I always say this, any opportunity, the reason why those abroad are doing well and it looks like what they are doing is magic is because they plan for the future of their young ones. They plan for the future of their youths. They catch them young. They catch them young not because they feel they want to be the world best. Because they look at it that these people have talent. We have opportunity of at least taking these boys off the streets. For instance, the football academy in England, do you know how many youths, the life of how many youths have been changed and transformed because the English Premier League is working? We have a lot of employed youths who are even giving back to the community and the economy. They don't have to be fraudsters. Here in Nigeria, it's fraudsters that give back to the economy. Yahoo. Instead, the footballers that give back to the country.
These are the issues.
There are very few of them because when they get there, they get carried away and start enjoying their life. I don't blame them because not many of them never thought they will see that kind of money in their life coming from the streets and the opportunities that were made available to them. The government has failed to understand that when you empower the youth through sports, you are already saving yourself from having bandits, armed robbers, and fraudsters.
True, Jerry. To even elaborate on what you're saying, what I wanted to point out was actually that this academy, when they set this academy, one of the aim of this academy is the academy is like a pool.
Yeah.
Now, these top clubs, you mentioned Monaco, Kylian Mbappe, and these top clubs come to that academy, and the best players from that academy go into these top clubs academy to develop further. That's exactly what I was actually going to actually add to what you're saying.
The setup of a structure that works.
Because
let me now tell you, if you go to the academies we see on the street, any academy that pushes you, maybe you pay for form by yourself. You will hustle before they will watch you. Before you know, age is no longer on your side. Before you now get to a point, it's only very few of them that get picked. So the structure here will surely make sure that you don't make it. It's not the grace of God. Maybe you understand my own point of view, and of course, Ikechukwu understand what I'm saying.
No, I mean, you are very correct. It's very difficult to be able to, get players from the grassroots. I'll give you a typical example. I'm not throwing shot at anybody. There's a particular Chrysanthos. We all know what happened. He was the highest goal scorer in one of the under-17. And we all know there was no MRI then. Chrysanthos was 17 in quote. We all know where's Chrysanthos now. There are people that went to that same competition from other countries. They are still playing active football at the moment.
Where's Little Messi today? Little Messi.
That's
Stanley Okoro.
Where's Little Messi? Yeah, Little Messi. Yeah, Stanley Okoro. Where is he at the moment? There's a particular guy that played for AC Milan I know
Where
him.
is he today?
I know him like the back of my hand.
Every player will not get the limelight
Exactly. We know the story. Just leave that one.
What's the story?
Let's not watch everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask. Where's Letalek, the golden boy of the under-17 World Cup that the French team that defeated, Letalek and Cinema Pongo defeated Nigeria in that under-17 World Cup.
At least over there, if he falls back to society,
where's Letalek?
there's still hope.
Sometimes you cannot be a star in the age grade and become a star, in the open grade.
It happens, but there are a lot of opportunities.
So I don't know why you are talking about Ajiboye.
I'm not saying Ajiboye did not have a good career eventually. I'm saying that when he went to the 17, there was already a story that families were already there waiting for him at the airport. So let me not even go there. Let's not go there. Let's help the mic. so we know the story.
Let's not go there. And that's the reason why they even insisted on going through MRI because of whatever is peculiar with Nigeria. The thing is this, we need to get it right. And Ikechukwu has rightly said it. These academies that were set up, it was more like a breeding ground for all these, talented players. Different clubs come, they have like a career fair in quotes now to watch these players, go to all this academy to scout all these players. That's the reason why you see players joining. For the case of Henry joined the youth team of I think Brest. I think started from Brest, moved to Monaco at the age of 8. How many of our players, even those that we are talking about, how many of our players, our star players now that came from Nigeria, not the one that they went to harvest in Europe, that came from Nigeria, how many of them was signed to an academy at 8, 9? How many of them did they scout come and look at the age of 8, 9? A whole lot of them, they had to struggle. Their parents will have to bribe people. They will have to pay this. They will have to do that before they get that opportunity. I think we need to get it right before we'll be able to, begin to harvest players from the 8th grade. The what's it called now? The Principal's Cup that used to be very popular in the late 80s and early 90s. That was also an avenue for us to be able to get players. However, the Principal's Cup is dead. Nobody's talking about that again. We can't even get players from the secondary school team because from the secondary school side, because there's no competition that will encourage them to be able to do that. So we need to go back to the drawing board and get, and it comes from the NFF. What are the NFF? What is the investment the NFF are making from the allocation FIFA has given them, into the grassroots to be able to set up these things? It's non-existent, and that's the reason why we need people who knows how to run football to take over our football for us to be able to get it right.
Pretty sad. Anyway, that will be a story for another day. Maybe we'll dedicate a show to look at age grade football. And of course, I'm also talking about someone who's active in the age grade situation, mostly even in the US and in Nigeria, and see how we can advise some of them, and of course invite some people from Nigerian grassroots and of course the academy to talk about what's happening as far as the grassroots is concerned and how we can at least maybe lend our voice in making a change. But time really fast spent. Definitely will not leave the show without talking about what happened to Liverpool over the weekend. It was quite a big hurt, according to Arne Slot, to Liverpool and the players, the fans, and which I still feel that match should be investigated for match fixing. As far as I'm concerned, Liverpool has no business, even towards situations where they can win trophies.
I agree with you if you say that match needs to be investigated for match fixing. But only if we are going to also investigate all the games you have also won, in the course of the season. But then this is one of those things that happen when, all
the games we also won.
Yes. Okay, because trust me, I told you here. That is the only trophy.
Maybe we investigate the 7-0 that we beat
every single game you won. We have to investigate.
When we beat Man 7-0,
because you cannot tell me.
When we investigate the 7-0, you know what happened that day. That Agbayi was conceding 1, 2, 3 to 7. Okay.
You will not tell me that because you lost a game, we will have to go investigate for match fixing.
Okay.
I told you here that the only game the only trophy you win this season is the Carabao Cup. You eventually go to the Premier League. You are not going to win it.
If they win the Premier League, you will steal the Premier League.
You will not win it. Arsenal will win it. I will say it here again. Arsenal will win that.
Why are you giving Ikechukwu false hope? Why are you giving?
I'm not giving him false hope.
Please don't give Ikechukwu false hope.
If you follow the trend, you
it's
understand
because
that
anyway
you've not faced 2 hurdles.
Anyway, I have no
and
argument.
This is February, and you get it.
The thing is that you have no argument or business with those who are languishing in 13th position. Let me and Arsenal deal with each other. Okay, me and Arsenal will have conversation. We now know who is going to win the league or not. We will tell each other the truth because somebody who comes from 13th will not understand what is happening at the top. So if I just come, I just rush in, I just start making comments. So I understand your opinion. You don't know what is happening at the top. You have spent too much time in the 13th position, so you don't know how the conversation is. As the top 5 is concerned. So calm down, Farah Buruku Bale. So we have to wrap it up. It's just so happy on this show. This is what we have to do. Please, let's catch my breath.
A butterfly that thinks himself in bed. That's what you are. Yeah. And you've lost the game to Plymouth. You are now calling for investigation. Don't worry. At the end of the season, we'll have this conversation. I'll tell you. I told you that you are not going to win the league.
When somebody has issues, you start saying proverbs. So as to interpret what he cannot explain. So you understand it.
I mean, Ikechukwu has stayed away from controversy. I mean, for the last 1 hour. I don't know why he decided to go controversial again. I don't know the reason. I'm sitting down here now. You are allowing Jerry to throw stray bullet at me. You know, I'm also supporting Manchester United, and I'm catching stray bullets for your offense. But in any case, I mean, you are very right. Where I watched the match yesterday, a whole lot of people were tearing paper, and you know what I mean by that. I mean, there is a need to investigate this because how that penalty came about does not make any logical sense. To be honest with you, there's a need to investigate it.
All right, we have to go. Big thanks, Maiwa and Ikechukwu for being a part of the show. We hope to hear more proverbs tomorrow, and of course, all the best, Ikechukwu. As far as I was concerned, we'll make a return tomorrow. All right, big thanks to the guys behind the scene, talking about the lives of Ikechukwu, not leaving out Alex, Shegun, and of course, Paul. Until we meet again, stay safe, and if not to anything at all, do it the sport way.